obviously easier for us. Sometime in spring, though, before we get into the tough months of summer, because schedules. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. Well, here.
We're on. Hey, Stan Saul with Dave Brown here with producer Rob. It's on a Saturday, and we've had our flapjacks and average sausage today, Rob.
I like the sausage.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. That was pretty good.
It's like...
What didn't you like about it?
I don't know. The texture. It's not Jimmy Dean. I guess that's what I didn't like about it. Jimmy Dean's got a little more spice in it.
Oh, you're a loyalist.
Jimmy Dean's my guy. I grew up with that guy, and who would know all these years later that you're going to be eating his sausage? So I like Jimmy Dean's sausage. It's really good.
My first girlfriend.
Whoa, we're just going.
Was Little Debbie.
Ooh,
I love those Little Debbies.
Oh gosh. No girlfriends. I was madly in love with Gidget from,
Oh, yeah.
Like a Bingo. She was kind of my chick.
Little blonde girl. Bounced around the beach all the time.
Sandra D? No,
yeah, Sandra D was her name.
Sandra D was on there too.
Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Wasn't there a song like
Sandra
that?
D from Grease, yeah.
Yeah.
Still one of my all-time favorite movies is Grease.
Yeah, my wife loves that too. She'll come over. If you say you're watching Grease, she'll be over tonight to watch it with you, with popcorn.
Oh gosh, it's like...
Anytime, any place. She's
okay, I'm calling her up. It's like, Grease was just fun. I mean, it was just fun. I've always been a lifelong Travolta fan, even back when he was younger, getting all kinds of bad reviews and critics hated him. Benny Barbarino.
Yeah.
I liked him. Even Welcome Back, Kotter. He was just
classic.
His role. So Sylvester Stallone, speaking of that, was just on. He just released an Instagram. It's pretty long, like probably 3 minutes. And he's talking all about he just finished a manuscript for his life story of how Rocky was made.
Oh, cool.
And, he's like 70 some years old now. And he's playing Tulsa King, which is a current Paramount TV show. It's pretty good. And so anyway, he talks about kind of how that book and gets a little philosophical in life. And I just like the guy. I like the Expendables. I've liked several of the movies he's made.
I got one for you.
What?
Old movie.
Fire.
The Lords of Flatbush.
Oh, dude. Oh, we're going back to Jersey, New York days back there.
That was a great cast, man. They had I forgot who all was in it. No, he was in it. Was John Travolta in that too?
I don't think he was in that.
I don't know. They had good. But Dave, I want to start us off today. We were talking this morning. So you've heard of the term one-hit wonders in terms of music. Bands that come out with one song and make millions off it. And one of those bands is a band's name, and this relates to what we're talking about, I guarantee you. It's a band called Steelers Wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the song they sing?
I'd call it up and play a little bit of it, but Rob
Yeah, I get mad at you because copyright. The song is called Stuck in the Middle with You.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great, real catchy song. Yeah, great. The reason why I feel like it applies is I feel like those are my people. I'm here in the middle. I'm not far right MAGA. I'm not far left, leftist. I'm a moderate. I'm really in the middle. I think there's a lot of us out here, Dave. And we were talking about that this morning. People are not really going out towards the moderates.
No.
What's going on?
Well, I don't know what Democrats have a slang term for their very moderate Democrats, so I'll call it giraffes.
Okay.
And then the Republicans call moderate Republicans rhinos. I can't stand that term, Rob, because to me it's just like it gets back to the heart of our issue in our country right now is we've labeled everybody, boxed them in, put them in a group, and we want to just say because you believe this way, this is what you are. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and it was a very serious conversation, and we're just talking about, you got to let other people have their mind. And if it's wonky and you don't agree with it, you don't have to hang out with them, but you don't need to attack them either. Probably the better part of valor on that one is just to walk away. But we still have the zaniness going on all over the country. And now the next phase of this whole wokeness craziness is we now have we've had the ICE thing going on this year, but now we've got the Somalians and everything that's going on in Minnesota. So it's crazy. In a little while, I'm going to share some numbers with you that will blow your mind. It will actually blow your mind how much money is being grifted in Minnesota. But
allegedly, again, they're still investigating it. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Gone. So what else you got to say about that?
Well, no, our discussion was that either you're a very far right MAGA and anyone who's not that can just go take a hike.
Yeah.
And on the left side, you're either very so far progressive that if you don't feel the same way, you could take a hike. Well, I feel like that's maybe 10 to 20% of the entire population. Well, there's 80% of us kind of in the middle who maybe lean a little right, but there's still something with the left, progressive that we're, maybe want to learn more about. But boy, the MAGA people, they shut you down. You cannot even have a discussion about it. Or if you do, you're weird. You don't belong. You're not part of us. And to me, I feel like that's very. I think that's going to be the death of the party.
Yeah, I think we've got to. I think that attitude is it's scary. But it is like, so let's go to the Muslim thing right now. Let's go to the Somalia thing right now. Let's go to the Middle East. We have to understand that people sometimes don't think the way we do, mm-hmm. and they are very opposite. The Muslim faith, is just completely polar opposite of like the Christianity faith. But the radical people in the Muslim world do not like Americans. They don't like the United States. So it's kind of funny that all these things that the woke left, far left, AOC crowd that's, they bought into all this stuff. You go try that stuff over in the Middle East and you'll last about an hour. Yeah. They'll just kill you. They'll rape you, kill you, move you around, sex trade. Well, they're going to do something to you and it's going to be really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes back to, Rob, I guess my feeling right now when you say that is Judy and I are making one of our sort of resolutions. We don't make hard and fast ones, but we're talking about this year, even with all the irritated people within the Republican Party in Yamhill County, and there are several, and in the state and in everywhere. I'm just talking about my party because I'm the chair of Yamhill County. I'm the vice chair of the state of Oregon, and there's just people that stir it up and are selfish, and it's sad because they're the ones that really get people not liking other people. Mm-hmm. They just can't get along. And I still see it like I've seen it my whole life in work and business and schools and coaching. When people are selfish, bad things happen.
Exactly. And, I'm definitely open to suggesting that, and we've talked about it, DTS is a real thing. I mean, people just can't get over the fact that Donald Trump is the president. And till his last dying day, they'll be trying to get rid of him as president. I understand that's part of the deal. But I think there's some people who okay, I like a lot of what I'm hearing. Again, we mentioned today, a lot of people maybe like the policies, but they don't like Donald Trump. They feel like, the messenger is the one that's coming for them. So, I just feel like the division is not always on the left. I feel like it's always also coming here on the right. And kind of what you're talking about here in the state of Oregon is very divided. And again, house divided cannot stand, as President Lincoln said.
Yeah, I think in Oregon, for people that's listening anywhere else, and we have people around the country and in different places. I think when Judy and I traveled a lot the last 3 years, we've been all over the country driving and road trips. And Rob, you just don't have the same vibe going on in most of the states we've been in. This next summer late, we want to get to the New England states. I know that's a little more liberal up that way, more heavily Democrat. But I would say that, Oregon, Washington, and California are very abnormal compared to a lot of states. Mm-hmm. I remember our last trip, we came back after 30 days. And when we were leaving Idaho to come into Oregon, we felt it. I mean, I know it sounds funny. I'm not trying to sound weird or poltergeist or anything like that. But you could just feel this, and maybe it's just because we knew we were driving back into the storm. And, whenever you know that there's a big rainstorm or snowstorm coming when you're driving, you're kind of fearful. And we were that way coming back in Oregon because we just knew the vibe in Oregon. And the vibe in Oregon, quite frankly, is very unhealthy. Of all the places we've traveled to, Oregon is gorgeous. It is beautiful geography-wise. But the people, it is a different kind of place. It really is. I heard about the standoffishness of people from New York, New England, kind of stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think we're that way here.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, we don't get involved.
People are, family's good, friends. But then I will say too, we go to a big church called Athey Creek, and we see a lot of people we aren't necessarily best friends with, Rob, but we we definitely been to weddings and coached their kids or whatever,
Mhm.
and fantastic people.
Mhm.
And so our church is big enough where we go to the McMinnville campus now. So, it's a little smaller. So every weekend you're seeing people, and
Mhm.
gosh, some great people. Just, our goal this year for Judy and I too is to be more intentional and definitely with people that are not politically lined up with us. We don't want to be just known as conservative Republicans. I really don't. I'm not going to ever apologize for how I feel on something, but I'm not ever going to call somebody a rhino.
Mhm.
I'm just not going to. I'm not going to call them a giraffe. That's my new term for the so-called very moderate Democrats. Let's call them giraffes.
So why do you think that happened? I mean, do you feel like people? I mean, I think within the Republican Party, you have some very conservative Christians, or very, very, almost to extremist level Christians. Let's just call it what it is. And then you have, people who maybe are a little more financially minded, but I mean, in other words, my point is it's kind of a melting pot of people with kind of the same beliefs. But within that melting pot, you need to stand over here. You need to be over here. Oh no, you can be with us. Oh no, you need to be in the back of the room. Well, that's how these things fall apart. Because the first time you're in the back of the room, you're like, well, forget this. I'm gonna go sit with Buckwheat Dippledicker in the foyer. I'm not gonna even be part of this. So I just think they're doing more damage than they understand by being kind of elitist and kind of snobbish.
I agree. I think let's go Bible-y for a second, Rob. I just think a lot of people out there right now, Oregon's not a very churched state compared to some other states that we've been around. We're just not.
There are a lot of churches though.
A lot of churches, but not a lot of people.
Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of churches.
But you have to always center back up on Jesus. If this is Jesus and everything flying around this thing is other stuff, just take some steps backward and get Jesus back into the center of your life. And I think what's going to happen there is, that's where our power comes from. That's where our information, that's where our wisdom comes from. And I think, basic wisdom from Jesus would be, hey, just hold on your judgment of others. Yep. People ask the question, this is Christian-y, Bible-y type talk. Well, is Rob going to heaven? People will ask that question. You think Rob's really a believer? Is he going to go to heaven?
Express lane.
And that Japanese 300-mile-an-hour train, yeah, that thing's fast.
10 cents or less.
But I'm not on that committee, man. I don't know. And I think we have to sit back and go, stay in our lane. Where are we from? Jesus doesn't need my help on if Rob's going to heaven or not. Jesus has got that. And that's what I'm saying about centering up on God. Jesus also has a great sense of humor, and Jesus has a plan. And it's your plan is yours, and mine is mine, and yours is yours, and they can intertwine. But I think we have a lot of people that want to be in control of everything.
Sure.
That's our problem in ML County. We have people who want to be in charge. They got to have their way. And we've seen this, and, I'm just going to say it out blunt. Judy and I talked about this yesterday. A lot of our issues in our town are women. Mostly women went woke. Mostly women went far left. Mostly women wanted porn in the libraries and can defend anything. Mostly women, are mad at ICE. Mostly women are mad at, the Black Lives Matter. Mostly women. And why is that? We know that, men and women were created by God. So, we all have our places, but we also have our differences. Women are more emotional, more drama filled. Men are more quiet and stupid and stubborn. So we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. But in our area, and we've heard this a lot from around the state, the women are the one, and they told the men that you're pretty much secondary. I'm in charge with all this stuff. And we see a lot of married couples where the women are saying, this is the way our family's going. So they stop going to church, and then they stop, believing in the Bible, or they slow down on it, and they start changing things. And it's women. And I think that for me, Rob, it's like, men, this is again, going back to stand tall. Men, you need to stand up and stand tall. And if that means having a tense conversation with your wife about, whoa, 2 years ago, we were going to church. Our kids were fine. Nobody had, crazy pink hair in our house. We're okay till today. And all that kind of stuff's creeped in. The man can't say anything. But whose fault is that, men? It's yours. And
so Dave, I gotta tell you, I mean, when you're talking about this, it still blows me away that in this town we live in here in Newburgh, Oregon, that one of the people who really went after you and tried to get you off the school board and a smear campaign and really, put your name in the mud in this town was a preacher of a local church.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say the name. I want to say the name so badly. But a preacher of a local congregation was the one leading this hate campaign against Dave and against the school board. It was filled with a lot of lies, a lot of half-truths, a lot of untruths. And, again, that was a man of God, a man who has his own flock. To me, it's a head scratcher. A man of the faith that's doing that. That should tell you all you need to know. If your pastor seems to be overly involved in politics, well, maybe his interests aren't with God and Jesus.
Good point. I think too that folks, there'll be a book coming out called The Newburgh School Board Wars, and names will be named. Trust me, it'll happen. It's something I don't want to happen. Huh?
Am I going to be in there? Just
Absolutely.
As a smarter? Okay.
Absolutely. Rob, people like you give me faith moving in 2026 because there are really good people in this world, everybody. And I think when I look around for me personally, I'm looking at people that I do want to hang out with. I do want to socialize with. I do want to share, a little bit deeper into my heart because it's good to have people around you that are great friends. And so, Rob, you're that way. Paige is that way for me and Judy. Last night, Judy had a big birthday dinner for her, and people that we trust, and there are a lot of them out there. But we also have to be discerning and stay away from, things like going to parties, and there's a lot of drugs going on. I mean, not as many since Venezuela's getting hit, but a lot of drugs happen there, or wife swapping, or all kind of crazy stuff that happens in this world. And you have to be discerning and stay away from like being in a bar on a Saturday night. If it gets a little rough around there, you probably don't want to be there. You really don't. So we have to be discerning where we put ourselves. I have one resolution I want to share with you. I want to keep on this topic, but it's, I am a Bible believer. I do believe in Jesus, but I noticed this year I got a little bit more sloppy in words being used. And,
but just this year?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking back at this last year. So
I'm giving you trouble.
I know.
You've had problems with sloppy words ever since I've known.
Well, the one I've used a lot, and it's like, I don't think it's really that bad, but dumbass. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to try not to say that this year because most people I hang out with and everything, they know we're just like talking goofy, and especially coaches. But I'm just not going to try to use that one because it does bother some people.
Sure.
So I'm going to try not to bother those people that inappropriate language can come across.
Have you ever seen that commercial of a guy who walks into the interview? He's like, "Hey, Mr. Dumbass." He keeps saying dumbass. And finally, at the end of the interview, the guy goes, "The name is Dumas."
Dumas. You're not helping my theory here, but yeah, I know. Rob, I think that, I was going to talk about this later, but, honestly, slow it down this year. Pick out 2 or 3 things that you can do well and go for those. When you're talking about resolutions, I want to be more fit than ever. I got to go in for a bunch of dental stuff next Friday, and it's going to be pretty intense. I got to have anesthesiologist and everything. But when it's all said and done, one of the benefits is I have about 4 months where I have to be really, really, really careful what I eat. And so I told the anesthesiologist yesterday, we had an interview, that I'm looking forward to the weight loss from not eating as much because I'm a sugarholic. I really am. Some people are alcoholics. I'm a sugarholic. And so that's going to go away. No pop, no candy, no hard stuff like that. I'm just not going to do it. And so I know I'll lose weight, and I have kind of a weight goal plus working out. And I'm hoping to be, as fit as I've been in the later parts of my life than I've ever been in the next 4 months. I really am excited about that.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot to work with.
Oh, jeez. Well, as a coach, I look at different people. I don't care who they are. You're either a quarterback, which you're pretty dang fit. You're a cornerback, which means you're a little small and you're fast. You're fast, and then you're a safety. You're a little bit bigger than the corners. But then you got your linebackers, and they're a little bit bigger humans. And so, I'm a linebacker.
Linebacker?
I'm a linebacker, and I want to be. I kind of like to rather be a quarterback.
Inside or outside? You got the speed?
No.
You're an inside linebacker.
I got the smart, so I'd be an outside linebacker. I'd be tough to get around, play some football. But you don't want to be a lineman. You know, I don't want to be a lineman. There's a lot of people out there linemen. If you're upset with the way you look and out of the weight, you know, just I'm telling you what, if you just sit back and go, if I eat well, that's 80% of your problem. And then just walk. The other thing I'm going to do is the Tai Chi, the 28-day Tai Chi challenge. I started that in December, didn't do it. I'm doing it here in January.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it,
Tai
man.
Chi. I'm doing that stuff. So I want to try it, mainly for my balance.
Well, good. Good.
So, Bruce Lee, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in L.A. I think that's the name of the movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think.
In Hollywood.
Yeah.
We watched that scene the other night on New Year's Eve where Bruce Lee and it's all fictional and he gets in a fight with Brad Pitt, whose character is coming to my mind, and they both throw each other on the ground and stuff. And oh my gosh, it's just hilarious. That's just a movie from a few years ago. I would highly recommend. A little rough, you know, but of course Brad Pitt, you know, pretty boy. He always. But I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt, so it was a good movie.
By the way, following up on a discussion we had last week, remember Marty Supreme?
Marty Supreme, yeah.
The ping pong movie. Well, I learned a little bit that based on a real life guy named Richard Riesman, I think it was.
Oh.
And the thing that was interesting about this guy is he just dominated ping pong, but then they made the switch to the paddles that had the rubber on it.
Yeah.
Totally changed the game. So he had to relearn the game. Not only relearned it, became dominant with this new sort of technology, and ping pong became more of a speed game, you know, more power and speed. And it was really interesting that he, you know, was actually a real guy.
I would recommend the movie. As I've stepped back from it, it's kind of been marinating. It's a raw movie, which means there's rough and there's swearing, but then there's raw. It's raw. If you're a little prissy, you probably don't want to go see it, but I like to see stuff that I've never seen before. And this is mainly on the East Coast, but all over Asia and Europe and India and Japan and everything. Ping pong was it in the early 50s. Now, when they had the World Championships in 1952, it went back to Japan. Marty Supreme gets there and plays the world champion, Hugo or whatever, and he beats him. And but it's not in the sanctioned match. It was totally random. But it was in Japan in 1945. Guys, we're talking 6.5 years from the end of World War II, where we're dropping the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So this was a very different time in the world. And there's still a lot of hatred between Japan and the United States, a lot. And so I like that, seeing stuff I've never seen.
Yeah, like I see this whole video, you know, real person.
And Marty Supreme's hard to like. I mean, I wanted to punch him several times myself. He's hard to like. Okay. But I would definitely recommend going and seeing that one. Judy and I love to go see movies. I'd say one of the things I want to talk about is like Judy and I are looking at, Rob, how we're moving forward in our married life at this age. You know, we feel like we're in the fourth quarter of life, but we have no plans slowing down. Judy and I call it 1 hour dates. We actually are writing a book on that. And our first date was a 1 hour date I talked her into, and we met at Newburgh High School. And the thing about it, Rob, is you can get a ton done in an hour. You can get a ton done in 5 minutes. And so our goal this year is we want to be more intentional towards each other, play more cards, go for more walks, hold hands more, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to let my inhibition slow down. Last night we're at a big fancy restaurant with 4 other couples, and it went around the table. Judy started it with like, what's something that you would like to do this year? And it came to me, and I said, well, I've never kissed a 64-year-old woman before. And everybody kind of chuckled. And so I'm sitting there, and then somebody else starts to go, and I'm going, you know what? This is where you just got to let your hair down a little bit. And so I got up, walked around the corner, gave Judy a big old sexy kiss right there. You know, in the restaurant, people are looking and watching. And I'm just going to be more that way this year. I want Judy to know that I'm madly in love with her, that I am totally committed to her. And I want her days not to be okay. I want them to be fantastic. So whatever I can do to make those days fantastic, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Same with my wife. Same thing.
Same thing.
Want the best for them.
Want the best. And you know what? Don't you think that like Amanda and Judy both want? They want us to dance with them. They want us to surprise them with little tiny things. It doesn't have to always be a big gift. It could be just A little thing like pick a flower, write them a little note and put it underneath their pillow. Stick it in their lunch bag. Just little stuff like that. It's just, if you go on a date, do something a little different. Go to a restaurant you've never been to before. Do something that's out of your ordinary. Don't just get Chinese food every Friday night. Go do something different.
Yeah.
So
We do try that. So what else you got on your list today? What else do you have on your list? I'll tell you, it's been in the news. I mean, we haven't even really talked about the strike in Venezuela. You want to talk about that?
Let's go there, man. It's scary to me because we're talking military action in a country that's right in Central America. Venezuela is one of the most richest countries in the world with their natural resources. But Maduro there was just taken, and his wife were scooped up in Venezuela, I think in the presidential palace. And this guy runs all the cartels. They were talking about this morning where they've been using their Air Force, which they have a lot of money, so they have a pretty good sized Air Force. And they have literally been dealing these drugs all over the world.
Wow.
They're the ones taking the Air Force of Venezuela. So don't think that we're being mean here by trying to get rid of this guy. This guy's a bad dude.
Yeah. So what now? What happens now?
Well, he's supposed to stand trial. And
to Venezuela. Like, are they going to get a new leader who's, actually they did elect a leader, didn't they? And then she couldn't take it because he wouldn't leave or something like that?
Yeah, he wouldn't leave, and so she never got the opportunity. So it's a total dictatorship. I mean, like North Korea. So, but my worry is like China and Russia are going to want some of that Venezuela action when it comes to the oil and the minerals. They're not just going to turn a blind eye to this. So this could potentially be a really rough situation. But Maduro and his wife were taken back to the United States. He's the leader of the cartel. He's gone. It's going to be dependent on like who's loyal to him and who's getting paid off and all the grifting going on down there. But we live in an amazing country, guys. We always want to say we hate the United States. All you crazy wokers out there say, I hate the United States. I don't like the flag and blah, blah, blah. Well, you moved to Venezuela when they're...
And let's not forget, I mean, the U.S. military to extract a country's leader and their wife without having to bomb the country, destroy the entire country. That's a pretty precision operation. So
they did have a few bombs.
But I mean, they're not bombing the entire, people and apartment complexes and things like that. So, hats off to the military for making that such a surgical precision strike.
I know I have two sons in the military, and they talk to me about their training. Their training is phenomenal. It's highly, highly trained people doing these jobs, and they go over it and over it, and they spend most of their time training. They don't actually do this kind of stuff very often. But when they have to, our military's amazing at this stuff. So, I don't know, Rob. I think Venezuela is, you'd like to see it. It's a beautiful country from the standpoint of this lady can get back into power and actually run a democratic type society where there's not the corruption, the grifting, and the drugs. But we have hundreds of thousands of Americans dying every year because of the drugs. A lot of that out of Colombia, and they're the ones bringing all these drugs. So people get mad about these boats coming in from Venezuela, these big long speed boats are just hauling across the Caribbean, and we blow them up. They got enough drugs on there to probably dominate the state of Ohio, and yet we get mad because we're being meanies. Well,
what's the world coming to when you can't let a drug boat come into your country, Dave?
Jeez, I mean, I'm like, blow them all up.
Drug boat people have rights too.
Yeah, no, just blow the smithereens out of those guys. So I'm all for that. I'm like, I don't want those drugs to end up in some high school where some kid ODs. But
even that whole situation is so. The U.S. blows up a couple of these boats, and then immediately the left like, hey, this is extrajudicial killing. You didn't have a trial or anything like that, and it's just like, I mean, we know they're drug people. We could tell. I mean, they're, cartons of drugs, cocaine, in the boats as we're blowing them up. Like, what's defensible about that? To me, it's really difficult to find, like, okay, why is this bad?
Like anything President Trump does to them, they just got to attack it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a lot of people. It'd be really cool in a fantasy world is some of these people like, I almost said some names right there. in our little
Save
town.
It for the book.
Wait for the book. But we have these women in our town, a few men, and it would be so nice if they just go, I'm going to wake up and smell the roses today. I think I'm just going to stop yelling at people at city council meetings and school board meetings and park and rec meetings. And I think I'm just going to be nice. I think I'm going to actually get a hobby again. I think I'm going to go to the beach and pick up rocks. I think I'm going to like make a cake.
But see, that takes them out of the center of attention. And that's, I think, what it's more about being the center of the attention with these folks who go to the city board meetings and, rant and rave and, call you a racist and, whatever. They want the attention to be on them because maybe that's the only 5 minutes that anyone will ever pay attention to them.
Probably.
I mean, if you look at these people, they're not impressive people. They're not necessarily people who are, you'd see them at a gym, working out. They're usually people at a coffee shop, smoking dope behind the shed or something. Like, they're not necessarily people who you'd want to hang out with, I guess.
You're playing polite right now. No, they're not. I think it's just sad that people are so joyless. Go find some joy in your life. I've known some of these people in the past life before they turned woke, and they were people I had lunch with and talked with, walked with, worked with, and now it's like they're zombies, literally zombies. And
they're so caught up in hate they can't see straight.
Yeah. So our message, I guess, is you can go Bible-y or not. Not everybody loves Jesus and stuff like that, but what you can do is you can stop the hate. I mean, I tell young people all the time, Rob, if you want to stop, thinking about yourself too much, or you feel like your life's a little out of balance, or you're depressed, go volunteer and serve. And here's another way that you young people, because you always need money, you do, is go get a random job like at, I'm just trying to think, like, at a clothing store in a mall or something where you have to work, but you also make $16, $17 an hour. Go do that and just be nice to everybody. Judy works at Lululemon's and she's, they love her there because she's just cheerful and positive and nice, and it rubs off on other people. I work today at the golf course, Rob, and I try to do that too. People come in and the guy came in the other day, one of the wokers here in town, and I just said, "Hey man, what's up? How you doing?" And am I mad at him? No. Am I irritated with him? No. Was I disappointed in him? Yes, very much so. But if he called me right now and said, "Hey Dave, I'm having a problem," I go, "What can I do to help you?" And I think that's where we have to go, where we don't let this hate eat us up. And that's what, when we're talking, Rob, about, around the country and how things are going. To me, with all the Somalia people in Minnesota transitioning there, how do you like that one? I would say, do I hate the Somalians? No, I really don't. If there is the kind of grifting that they're talking about in billions of dollars, it just has to be dealt with in a lawful manner. And there needs to be people that are responsible for all this go to jail, go to prison. It really does. And will the money ever always get paid back? Almost never does. So the people of Minnesota have just gotten ripped off. And I have one connection to Minnesota. We have a couple of friends there. My dad was born there, and I'm a Minnesota Vikings football fan. I have no desire to go there because of all the craziness that's been happening there under Tim Waltz. And I mean, you can't even tell me this guy isn't aware of a lot of this stuff.
Well, a couple things I'm still kind of scratching my head on this because, again, according to the state of Minnesota, they've been investigating these daycare centers and have found no infractions. So, like, someone's lying, or did Nick Shirley just show up on the day after Christmas when no one was going to be there? I don't know. I mean, I tend to think this is pretty widespread, but I still want to hear some facts. But state of Minnesota, they're not really giving up any facts. I mean, there are really no facts being put out there.
Yeah,
it's just the video, and all we see what we see, and we just can, go from that. Okay, well they're taking money out the back door or something because there are no kids here. But if there's another reason, please show it on the news. I don't really see that happening right now.
Okay, I'm going to keep talking to Rob. I got to show you something here.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I mean, again, I think that, there's a lot of questions with the fact that a independent journalist could uncover this with the help of this other guy who was with him, whereas the mainstream media, not one word. So is that even possible? And again, I would have to think that even in the state of Minnesota, there are enough people who are out for Tim Walz that they would definitely be offering up, his head on a platter. So I'm just curious. The whole thing's very curious to me.
Here's a text I got from a friend of mine, and very smart person, just kind of crazy, but hear this out. I was curious about all this fraud in Minnesota, and it got me thinking. In 2018, our total federal expenditures were $4.1 trillion, just for the whole country, for everything. In 2025, we spent $7 trillion. Now we're talking trillion. $3 trillion difference is so much money, it's hard to wrap your head around. But what isn't hard to wrap your head around is physical stuff. I'm cleaning up the act here because I'm not trying to swear this year. So I had Claude AI do an analysis for me. I basically asked it, if we spent $1 trillion on just infrastructure in the United States and nothing else, how much infrastructure would that buy us? Short version of the story, an absolute ton of infrastructure. Again, I'm changing words so I don't go X-rated here.
What kind of friends do you have that use that kind of language?
Oh, many.
I'm going to be your mother and tell you need to find new friends.
I have friends in low places, and I love them. That is $1 trillion total, not per year. This is $1 trillion total. How are we spending $3 trillion per year, more than we did in 2018, and not seeing anything close to that list of new stuff? The levels of fraud have to be beyond comprehension. If we are spending an extra $3 trillion per year and have done that for over 7 years, that would actually mean you could multiply that list by 21 times. But factor in increased entitlement plus inflation and whatever else and say we only 10 times our overspending and put it all into infrastructure. Imagine this. That would be enough new highways to cross the United States 100 times, 15,000 new bridges, enough high-speed rail to go from LA to New York and from Mexico to Canada, 50 new airports, 1 new airport per state, 40 nuclear reactors, 350 GW of solar, 25% increase in electricity capacity just in solar, 250 new hospitals, 5 per state, 4,000 new clinics, 80 per state, 12,000 new schools, 240 new schools per state, 1.25 million new homes, $25,000 per state, or 25,000 per state, and a bunch more stuff on top of that. Where's all of our money gone? Again, I'm deleting words. Here you go is a bigger list, Rob. I'm going to turn this way so I can see this thing. I might have you read it. Just read one and we'll talk about whichever one you pick one. Anyone out there on this list.
Let me see. Let's go take a look at nuclear, 100 billion. 4 large or 20 plus small reactors. Wow.
So we're talking about, electricity shortages, which are going to come our way, by the way. Had Biden and Harris stayed in power, we were getting dangerously close to like some of the worst countries in the world, like Australia, for having power outages. And it's because we need those power sources.
So when rural broadband will connect 4 million homes to the internet.
4 million. 4 million homes, you said?
4 million homes, yeah.
What's another couple you got there?
Yeah, I'm going to get my glasses off here. Okay. Wastewater, we could build 100 facility. We could upgrade 100 of our facility upgrades in America. Let's see. 400,000 miles of fiber cable backbone to the United States. We could rehabilitate 75 different dams. 125 major water treatment plants can be built. And let's see, flood control. 2,500 miles of levees could be built. That would be very helpful.
So the question I got for you, Rob, and everybody out there, ask this question: where's all that money? We're talking about every state, that we talk about. We need this. We need more roads. We need this.
Hunter Biden got $2 million for his paintings, so we know. I'm sorry.
He sucked.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about all this infrastructure is just the stuff that we need: roads, airports, bridges, and that kind of stuff. New buildings, schools, whatever. That's more than we need right there, and that's only $1 trillion. We're talking $3 trillion per year. Where's all that money going? And so when I think of the Minnesota fraud that's going on, I totally think it's there. How does Nancy Pelosi go being worth like $5 million to over $200 million in the last like 5 years?
Yeah, and if this is going on in Minnesota, you got to think it's happening in California.
So, Rob, I want you to throw down the challenge on me. We're gonna have a great year in 2026.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited, but I'm gonna start digging on this in Oregon. I'm gonna find people that will help me dig, and we're gonna start finding. Because I agree. I think rob every state,
mm-hmm.
even the conservative states like Texas and Florida and stuff like that. There is grifting, stealing.
The homelessness industry.
And folks, this is an industry of people that are making mm-hmm. money off these nonprofits by saying they're doing something and they're really not doing much. Our homeless crisis keeps growing. But when you have policies by Tina Kotek, governor of Oregon, and Kate Brown before her, and these people in Minnesota and California, Newsom, and in Washington, I don't know what that governor's name is, but horrible policies that actually increase our homelessness.
Is he part of the Niffeldicker family?
You finally said it right this morning.
Niffeldicker.
It's buckwheat Niffeldicker.
Niffeldicker.
Some people want to get crazy with that, get a little bit. Yeah. No, it's not that. It's Niffeldicker. Yeah. So my point is that a little bit of fun stuff here. We got this book called Wokeness from the Babylon Bee, and it's Rob, tell people what.
Well, Babylon Bee is a satire site. They kind of like the Onion. They publish a lot of kind of crazy stories, a lot of funny stories. A little bit more on the right leaning, but they just eviscerate the left liberal wokes. It's actually pretty funny. Dave's going to read a couple entries here.
Well, it opens up with a picture of Joseph Stalin from the Soviet Union time, World War II, and the previous. This book is dedicated to Joseph Stalin, a woke hero and champion of the oppressed proletariat. Mm-hmm. Some of the things are: welcome to the woke zone, intersectionality and identity, race, feminism and gender, the true story of American history, how to be offended by everything, how to make sure your church is as woke as Jesus, follow the science, how to fight fascism with violence, fighting the cultural war, entertainment, and brainwashing the next generation.
Just pick out a random one from the book. Just pick up one.
I got one for you right here.
Okay, here you go.
Climate change.
Okay.
I'll read a little bit. You take something there. As woke master Yoda said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering for the cause of the cultural revolution.
Nice.
So
if a child takes one thing away from their K-12 education, it should be a state of constant horror that the earth is dying and all life as we know it will face extinction because all parents are capitalists who drive minivans. If your kindergartner is not filled with dread at all times, you're slacking. Fill that little vessel with fear, comrade. Be sure to remind anyone who opposes you that they are anti-science. Refer to our section on climate justice for more in-depth tips. So, ways to free kids out of climate change. Teach them their existence is meaningless without the state. These are all jokes, of course. Only give them melted ice cream.
What is that?
That'll give the kids the idea of what climate change is all about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then only waterboard them to give them a taste of what it'll be like when the polar ice caps melt.
Good call.
Yeah.
I like that one. That makes sense.
Anyway, every time your kids eat meat, remind them that every bite brings us one step closer to the apocalypse.
Anyway. It's humor. It's called satire, folks. Satire. So that's what the Babylon Bee does, and we need to laugh more in this world, Rob.
You know, I'm reading this, and I could name, and again, we're not naming names, but I can name about 5 people here in Newburgh that this kind of applies to.
5? I mean, that's the top.
I haven't been here that long. You've been here a lot longer than me.
Oh my goodness sakes! Yeah, climate change is always special to me because the climate does change.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it changed the other day. It was rainy.
It was raining.
Today's not raining.
And then last week at the golf course, we
got to do something about this day.
Yeah, it's a problem. We had 4 days where the sun was out, and we played golf every day at the golf course. I mean, the public, and we were packed. It was slammed. It was great. Then it rained again.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, what's up with this climate change? You know,
changing. Don't ever change.
No, and I mean the snow, it just doesn't come anymore.
Dave, I'm going to read one more because there's one I thought was pretty good here. Let me just find it.
Again, we're talking about satire. We're talking about humor, folks.
So we're talking about problematic TV shows. So another aspect of raising kids is monitoring the content they consume. Much like those evil fundamentalist Christians in decades past, woke parents must make sure their kids are only consuming progressive entertainment that dismantles harmful capitalist ideology and brainwashes their children into a better way of thinking. So a couple of shows they say are these are harmless shows these are quote unquote harmless shows that are delivering messages to your children. Dora the Explorer, that it platforms that glorifies white supremacists and suspected KKK member Swiper, who is the little cartoon character. Anyway, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Oh, a white man owns an entire neighborhood? Give me a break. And then Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, because tigers are known to be orange with black stripes. We understood multicultural whiteness in order to discover the tiger's family. Again, it just goes on and on. There's just
I'm thinking like
Sesame Street is actually a woke show. Sesame Street because it prominently features the letter Q and has a person of color live in a trash can.
Of course.
I gotta get this book.
Well, you can take it home this week. Read, just bring it back next week.
I know I'm terrible at bringing books back, but I'll bring this one.
I'll know where you live. I'll find you.
Yeah.
So the whole thing on this climate change is like, I mean, we're probably not going to. We might as well let's cancel next week's
Before
show.
I go, I want to just read the title: "The Babylon Bee's Guide to Wokeness." Again, if you want to buy this, how to take your wokeness to the next level by canceling friends, breaking windows, and burning it all to the ground.
Yeah, and then we got Black Lives Matter. Chavez is on the front of the other T-shirt. We got the pride flag going on. We got a Molotov cocktail. Because remember back during Black Lives Matter, burn it all to the ground.
I wish he would just maybe had one leg. Then he could have maybe been the disabled, but they didn't cover that. They're kind of anti-disabled here on this. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not really honoring the disabled.
Yeah, I'm not honoring them at all. And the contributions they've made to our country.
And actually, the gay pride flag is, kind of far off, and it should be more front and center.
Yeah, I mean, again, the other thing is why is it crooked? Why isn't it straight? Well, I guess because gay people aren't straight.
We don't want the pride flag to be straight because straight would be in conflict with.
And then the T-shirt with Che Guevara, who apparently that guy never bathed. Did you know that? People used to complain that he never bathed. He had taken baths. Smelled terrible.
There's people like that.
Yeah. Marilyn Monroe was another one I found. Didn't like to bathe.
No way.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people said they didn't even want to be with her because she just was kind of disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true.
Peter Lawford was one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Said he didn't had an opportunity to, be with her and just said no. She was just she had body odor, smelled bad, didn't take care of herself, smoked like a chimney.
Smoking can do that for you.
Yeah.
I would say. Okay, I gotta say this. We gotta go a little R-rated here on the show. Ready?
Yeah.
So my buddy George gets stomach cancer, about 4 years ago. Really close friend. It's sad. We were actually working on some projects together, and great guy, coached with me. He was a big time swim coach here. Well, George then has a stroke around the holidays, so he'd been about 5 months into his cancer, treatments. Mm-hmm. Has a bad stroke, loses left side completely, ends up in a home. Mm-hmm. I'd go visit him, his wife and daughter in there one day, and it's his birthday.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, and George and I laughed a lot, you guys. He was a fun man. I really love George. And that big husky voice, Well, he says, he kind of looks at me, and I go, well, I got to sing happy birthday. We got to sing happy birthday. It's George's birthday. And his wife goes, well, we don't sing happy birthday in our family. I'm like, well, of course you do. She goes, no, we don't. I go, well, I'm singing happy birthday to George right now. And so I'm on the left side of his bed. Mm-hmm. He is, 50% done moving. Can't talk now because of a stroke. He's got about a month to live, maybe 3 weeks. And he can still see, and I know he could understand to a certain point. And so I pulled up Marilyn Monroe's song.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah, to JFK. Happy birthday to you, Mr. President. That whole thing. It was real sexy, and it's Marilyn Monroe. and it's been famous, out there on different, played. And so I put it up on my phone, and I didn't get in trouble with copyright or anything, Rob. And I put it up right next to George's face so he could see it. So only he could see it in the room. And he's looking at Marilyn Monroe, and I'm playing this song. I get close to George's ear, and she's singing it, "Happy Birthday to you." And so I lean in George's ear so nobody else heard it. I go, "You're the only man in the United States of America right now with Marilyn Monroe laying on top of you, singing you happy birthday." And he got a little smile on his face because that's exactly the humor, two coaching guys would have. And I can honestly say I've only seen Marilyn Monroe do a couple of acting things.
Hey, what's the deal with no happy birthday? Is it a religious thing or something?
What?
You said their family didn't sing happy birthday. Was it a religious thing or something?
No, they really weren't churchgoers. They just didn't sing happy birthday.
Huh.
Apparently they didn't like the way they sang. I don't know. I think happy birthday, we can all sing it.
Yeah.
Every Halloween, Judy has all the middle school, high school kids, and they're in big groups having fun. And we have a fire pit out front with friends and food and everything. And she goes, "Well, I'll give you guys bigger candy, but you guys sing happy birthday. Because that's the only way you get the bigger candy." So they all sing happy birthday to me. Nice. And my birthday's June 29th. But they all sing really. Some of them really get into it. They start kicking their legs and everything. So it's pretty fun.
Did I want to take a quick left here on a couple things? Fire. So we're getting kind of here on our 45 minutes. Hold
on here.
Well, we got a caller?
We got a caller. Hold on here.
Caller. Well, we're trying to get our technical. So I want to let you know where you can find our show while Dave's looking for us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube Live. We're doing live streams. So you can find our YouTube Live on that. We're getting ready to switch over to Subsplash, a company we've been working with to get an app developed. So look for that in January, an app as well as our new website, all going to be rolled out. And all of the episodes, you'll be able to find it all in one spot.
Let's see if I can get this person back. We're really going to put him on a Mountain Dew hot seat because he's never been on the podcast.
Oh, okay. That's our man.
See what we got going here. We'll do a lot more of this call-in stuff here as we move on.
Downtown Coach Brown.
Dane Lomax, you are on Stand Tall with Dave Brown and producer Rob. And so we actually got you live on the show. Nobody knows anything more about you, but we just wanted to put you on the Mountain Dew hot seat.
Dane's a good friend of ours, been a great supporter of the show. Happy to. How you doing, Dane?
Happy. I'm already better. I'll be consuming calories with you guys right now.
Look at you. Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Hey, Dane, if you don't mind, would you give us the name of that event we're going to with Richard Burke and stuff at the end of the month?
Oh, gosh. You mean the Friends of the Coos County Republican Party?
No, the next one on the 30th.
Gosh, I think that is the Western Liberty Network that Richard Burke and Mr. Greg Burnett are putting on.
And we will be there. Stan Tall's going to be there. We're going to be doing some live interviews. There'll be governor candidates and all that kind of stuff there.
Exciting.
Sounds like a party.
We're going to be there. And then, so Dane, my buddy, he didn't call food, he calls food calories. He's the most passionate food person I've ever been around in my entire life. I know lots of people. Dane, and before we let you go, and I'll call you back after the show, why do you have such a fascination and a passion for food?
Because I never like being cold during the winter, so I'm always making sure I'm consuming calories.
I do, because I want to make sure I don't blow away in the wind.
That's right. Because I'm an excellent paperweight.
So I'm going to guess 3 foods. I'll see if I get them right here that you really like. You ready? You can say whatever you want to say. Clam chowder.
Yep.
Why?
Well, growing up in Oregon, it was a staple.
I mean, you're passionate about your clam chowder.
Kind of like Tillamook cheese.
Okay.
2 types of people. Those that have had it, those that wish that they have.
Don't get defensive, man. We're just trying to get your passion.
Boys and girls.
What do you think about like barbecue, brisket, steak, all that kind of stuff? Because you are a barbecuer.
Well, funny you should ask, Coach Brown. As we speak, I have about 40 pounds of pork butt on the Ret Tech right now. It's been smoking since about 04:15 this morning, and we'll achieve pure perfection probably about between 3 and 5 this afternoon. I'll send pics.
Oh man, I can't
Love
wait
it.
to see that.
Love it.
I love that.
Awesome.
And then the third one would be cinnamon rolls.
Gotta have them. Gotta have them.
And you had mine sorta, but I got to bring my A squad cinnamon rolls back.
I subscribe anytime.
Okay. And then the last thing, Dane, here is thank you. You've been in the military.
Yes, sir.
You served our country. Thank you for doing that. You're a huge supporter of police everywhere.
Yes, sir.
You're a big proponent for protecting girls' sports and not letting boys in there. And it's still a big fight. And you try to do the best you can to help around wherever you can to fight for the people that can't fight for themselves. So
that's right.
Thank you for doing all that. We appreciate you a ton, me and Rob. And I'll call you back. I'll call you back right after the show.
Yeah,
when you do.
We were just talking about the big plans we have for our new app, new website coming out in 2026. So a lot of good stuff for the show and association with you guys. So
outstanding. Looking forward to all of it. I've got good news for you guys as well. Bringing in some VIPs for the Coast County event. So give me a jingle.
Yep.
Well, if I set the phone down here, you could listen to what we finish up here with for like a couple minutes. You want that?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, I'll just put the phone right here, and Rob and I'll keep talking. If you want to jump in, just scream. So we've talked about a lot of stuff today. We're coming up.
And actually, Dan, we're doing both podcasts and live streams. So we're on YouTube today. Our YouTube live stream's going as well as our regular podcast. So podcast will be up this afternoon, but the live stream's up right now. So.
Well, one thing I wanted to come up with now, it's gonna be a fun one. Dane, you'll like this one too. But the NCAA football playoff, I think we've seen some of the best games. The Ole Miss Georgia game the other night was just phenomenal. The other games were Indiana just kicked Alabama all over the place. Oregon smoked Texas Tech. So we got some good semifinal games. I want the Ducks. Obviously, we're from Oregon, but I think Indiana's going to take them.
It's tough to beat that same team twice in 1 year.
True, but Indiana's good.
Yeah.
Indiana's solid. Dan, what do you think on that one?
No opinion. I haven't paid attention all year long.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs are – I think we're in a really head-on collision with an iceberg here because the way the playoffs are coming, I think we're getting this thing down to where the big-time colleges are going to have one division and everybody else is going to have another division. And it's all going to be all about money, and they've got to fix the NIL. We got backup linemen at Purdue making $50,000 a year on their NIL. And how many of these kids are actually getting their education? NFL playoffs are up. I'm leaning hard into the 4 teams. I'd say the Niners are hot. I think the Seahawks and the Niners play tonight or tomorrow or something.
Monday. I think it's Monday night.
It's a Monday night game. And then I think New England's playing pretty well.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
I mean,
are
they're
playing
12-3.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, they're good. Everyone says, they're not going to make it. I mean, I kind of think they might be a Super Bowl team.
You do.
I'm thinking, man, they're playing really well.
Houston Texans are tough. They got a great defense down there.
Yeah.
I think and the Eagles are always dangerous. They can play well. They can beat anybody on any given day. I know my Vikings are out. They're gone.
Yeah.
I think they're on that same boat with the Somalians, taking all the money out.
But the Viking ship they put on fire and put out to the ocean?
Yeah, they're trying to run from Minnesota right now. They'll probably relocate to Newburgh, Oregon for their team. But I think right now it's wide open. I think there's 6-8 teams that can win the Super Bowl if they get the right matchups and stay away from the key injuries on that one. But
there really hasn't been a dominant team, like one team that's just dominated the league this year.
A lot of parity.
Yeah.
I think Indiana is the front end favorite to win this NCAA though, which would be amazing because they're not a football school. Mm-hmm. They are a basketball school all the way. But man, they put it together. That kid Mendoza, whatever, he had got an arm.
Yep.
He's competitive. He's goofier and all heck. He just smiles at everything.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Did anybody see the hit though that the kid from Georgia took in that game? I have never seen a quarterback hit harder. I mean, the linebacker that hit him full speed, and he had just thrown the ball, so he didn't have his feet really on the ground. He got knocked into Louisiana. He got hit so hard. I was like, and he got back up.
Across the state line. Huh?
Gunner Jackson or Gunner something.
Love it.
It was unbelievable how hard he got hit.
Hey, Dave, really, while we're getting up here to an hour, just why don't you give people a quick wrap up of what you got going this week? What are your travels and what's on the agenda? And then want to take us out?
Yeah, we're back. We're getting into back into the 2026 election cycle. Dane knows this. My goal this year in 2026 is to try to get people more excited and want to participate in the political landscape of getting local people elected. We have our big numbers show up for the presidential elections, but it's the city councilors and the school board members, and those are the important races, folks. In our county, it's the county commissioners because we've got a battle with light rail wanting to.
And remember, that's when we had Greg. Greg on. That's his organization is trying to find great candidates to support to get into elections at the school board level. We're not talking about Senate races. We're talking very local races. So again, you're looking forward to connecting people with Greg and Greg's organization to get some great candidates out there.
Yeah, at the end of the month, Dane, we'll be at that Western Liberty Network thing, but also on the 14th at Yamhill County, Richard Burke, who's the leader of that, or the face person of that, is going to come to our county and be our keynote speaker. And we're going to focus really hard on training this year. And then Greg Burnett wants to be back on the show in the next week or two. We both like Greg, Dane, just because like you and I talk about all the time, it's really fun to be with people that are just smart. And I like to learn stuff even at this age. I want to learn.
I'll tell you, I like the guy because he helped us not burn the house down with the bacon. That was the biggest deal. That's the biggest takeaway.
There were flames 3 feet out the stove.
I heard.
Not even kidding. I'm writing out this morning. I'm making breakfast for Rob, and one of the dials, the second one from the right, it looks like somebody just threw a torch to it. It was really bad. Greg's eyes were as big as saucers, so it was funny.
He was Johnny on the spot, though, wasn't he?
That's how you season the cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it was interesting, but I'll be jumping back. We've had this whole holiday season to kind of have off, but now it's Dane knows we're going to be at some same events early on, but we're going to be at a lot of events throughout the year. We're excited to support and run our podcast out of that Western Liberty thing. We'll get to. Greg was talking about possibly Chris Dudley run for governor, Christine Drazen, Bethel, who I've met, is going to be on the show. We've got interesting races here in Oregon, and I'm excited. I want everybody to vote because I'd like to see Governor Tina Kotak's defeated so we can, bring Oregon back to the middle. We don't need to be far left, and we don't need to be far right. We need to get common sense back in, and I think the Bethel lady's really solid. And there's going to be a surprise entry into the governor's race, everybody. I'm just telling you right now, first time you're hearing it.
Oh, yeah.
Big.
You've told me about this one. This one's exciting.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. That's true. I think Dane and I and you are all excited about that one.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
And that's someone that everyone, no matter where you're from in Oregon, can get behind because he's a real person.
Dane, if that person can get in there and win that primary and get to the general election, we got to meet at the Gingerbread House. So where was that place at up in on the way home from Bit?
Oh gosh, CM Highway, Mahama, I think is how they say it, but just east of Detroit, like there. Let me recommend it.
Is that the Gingerbread House?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring Rob with me. We'll meet and have a company meeting and stuff. But I'm looking forward to Dane. We'll let you go with this. We'll wrap up with everybody.
Wait, so this is a company meeting. Does that mean I get to order the soda this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get you a single burger.
Oh, single burger. Okay.
We're gonna be in a lot of different places this year. I'll be on the road quite a bit, and we'll be doing podcasts from all over the state. And I want to go back down and see the ice facility. I need a little bit more action in my life. Last time I went with you, Dane and Nicole, and everybody went down there, and they weren't really tough people. I didn't think, but next time maybe it'll be a little different. When they say Portland's weird, Portland is weird. But Stan Tall wants to be there to bring a truth to you guys. We do education, politics, Jesus.
I will say I did see something kind of dirty down there. That there was a guy in one of those inflatable outfits causing a bunch of hell, and one of the ICE agents took the mace and actually put it in the fan of their. Did he really? Of their outfits, and here the person's trying to rip the outfit off because all the mace is in it. That was pretty dirty.
Dane? Have you ever had mace on your eyes?
I've been.
You have.
Absolutely, CS gas.
Where?
CS gas, prerequisite the Marine Corps.
Oh,
Yep.
for training. Oh, yeah.
Burns.
Man, I just got a touch of it when I was walking Lucy one day. I got my hand on the trigger and I didn't know it. And holy mothers of Jesus, I was down on one knee. Just that hurts.
Yeah.
That really does hurt. So anyway, we'll be everywhere. We'll stand tall, and like this, we're gonna have more split screens during the show. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what people have to say about stuff and how we get fired up. But we have a big ask. We want everybody to get involved, and the people that get in your way that try to just, be unhappy and have no joy and want to ruin your day, don't let them. Don't let them. Just stay away from those people and just move right on to the people that really want to make our country great. So with all that said, Dane, thanks for being on with us.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
And I look forward to a picture of those calories. I wish I could eat them today. And then, Rob, always a pleasure to be with you. Love you, man. We will see you next time out there. Stand tall with Dave Brown. Hold on a second, Dane. Rob's getting to the computer here. He'll tell me when we can talk.